So not only does God own everything, and we're just trustees, but Jesus gave everything. It's literally his grace that should calm our fears when it comes to resources and open our hands. Okay, hear this clearly. We will never be financially free until, guess what? We're spiritually free. Because whom the Son has set free is free indeed. And notice the writer in the scripture said son, S-O-N, capital S by the way, S-O-N, and not M-O-N-E-Y. Not only that, but we'll never be spiritually free until we really get a grasp on grace. And the grace that we have in this life really has to be more real than money or material possessions could ever be. Paul says Jesus became poor so that through his poverty, we might become rich. What does it mean? It means that Jesus didn't just give 10%. There was no 10% of his life that he gave. He gave his whole life. He gave everything. He gave his blood. He gave his body. He gave his breath. He gave his throne. He gave his glory. He gave his life. Grace is not just what Jesus gave, but if you think about it, he traded his grace for this mess that we do. He literally lost grace so that we could live. And when you start to think about that, that ought to do something to you. It ought to change your relationship with money and materials and possessions and things. I don't know about you, but it changed mine. And the more I sit in scripture, the more I grow, I start to see just how unworthy I really am. I mean, the more I meditate on what Christ has done and the more I think about all that he went through just for me, the more something inside of me shifted. It's still shifting even now. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about a time that my grandfather would say to me that closed hands, you should never have a closed hand, because when you have a closed hand, you can't put anything in it and you can't take anything out of it. So I thought about it. What does it really mean? And I have my beautiful example of Grace here is going to give it. She has this closed hand, and it looks like there's money in there. Look at that. Look at that. I can't take that. I mean, girl, give me that money. Give me that money, girl. Well, maybe I'll try to put something in there. I don't know. Wait, it's not. What's happening? What? She can't get it. Her hand closed. But when you start to think about grace and your hand starts to open, oh, I needed that. Look at how this works. So grace has a way of unlocking our hands. And when it does, the possibilities of what God can do in our lives, endless. Absolutely endless. And it didn't, I realized after I realized grace had such a hold on me, not only did I open my hand or become open and generous with my treasure, I also became more generous with my time, because that's important too. I become generous with my compassion. That's important too. And I become generous with my presence. So what am I saying here? What do we do? Where do we go from here? If Christ's sacrifice is really defined more than money, what would generosity look like for us? What is he? God didn't ask us, he's not asking us for leftovers. He didn't give us leftovers. He gave us his very best. We should give people our very best and not what we have left. We should be willing to give and to give. And when we give, we have to be careful to make sure that we give with love, that we give with joy, and that we give with purpose. Because generosity, born from grace, has heaven's fragrance on it. Which means that if we can be generous down here, he smells it up there. So not only does God own everything, and we're just trustees, not only it's Jesus gave everything, and that it's his grace that ought to calm our fears while we worried about how we're going to do this and how we're going to make it. We put everything that we have in his hand, the one who gave everything, and it'll open our hands